you believe Techtalk is #1 in the market with this guy as a host? September 1995. Not all postcards have been returned. And now, here's Craige.
Welcome to Tech Talk with Craige Peterson. Today we're talking about some of the technology in our lives. We've been talking a lot about some of the app space as well. There are some really neat apps that are available right now that kind of do almost everything. More and more corporations have been considering using apps, and we've even talked about a few different models that can be used to do some development here. Right now, we're going to talk with Nucona's CMO. His name is Brad Murdoch. We're going to talk about managing, deploying, and securing some of these apps that are used right now in the corporations and some of the things that you should look for when you go forward. There are a lot of changes going on. People are bringing their own devices, of course, into the office. There are some companies that didn't allow cell phones with cameras originally because you could take pictures of things that might be secure and it was a security risk. Well, we've come a long way from having a simple cell phone with a camera on it to what we have today. The USB drives all the way through these extremely smart smartphones that are out there. That's what we're going to talk about. Brad, welcome to Tech Talk with Craige Peterson.
Thank you very much, Craige. It's great to be here.
So let's talk a little bit about the problem that these corporations have. Many of them are looking at their employees that are out there with things like the, Blackberries, the iPhones, the Android phones, and they're using their own little apps. Some are using their own personal email accounts for conducting business, and et cetera, et cetera. What is the state out there, and what's the problem with what's going on?
So I think there are a couple of factors that are really driving the pace of change, Craige. One is the technology itself is really being driven by the consumer market, and that individuals are getting a fantastic consumer-like experience from their smart devices, whether it's a phone or a tablet like an iPad. And then when they come to work, they absolutely are expecting to have a similar type of experience, and they're really not accepting the kind of limitations that might have been placed on them by their employers based on the device choice of, maybe just a BlackBerry or maybe just even their Windows laptops. And so it's definitely introducing some challenges related to data loss prevention, compliance, and basically just being able to keep up with the rapid pace of change.
And change is really the name of the game here. There's new apps coming out every day, new devices that people are using, and the mobile devices that we have, like the iPhone, frankly, iPad and Android, they're all designed specifically with apps in mind. That's how Apple makes its money. You look at the billions now of downloads. It's a phenomenal marketplace, so it's something that's definitely not going away when it comes to the business world out here. And it's also, I think, important for corporations to realize that this isn't something that they necessarily can or should ban, certainly across the board.
Absolutely, Craige. And in fact, what we are seeing at Nucona is a real increase in the interest in developing a whole new set of applications by corporates that are designed specifically for the mobile devices. So either new native applications that are targeted at very specific applications in areas such as insurance, healthcare, construction and engineering, financial services. Many of the different markets are coming up with brand new applications that are designed specifically because the users are going to be mobile, but also really thinking about taking the web applications that already exist to drive corporate business, and now with the form factor of a tablet, you have really a much more satisfying, capable user experience by being able to drive a web application on a 10-inch screen. And so the organizations that we're talking to are looking at this new app-centric mobile world and having to deal with the challenges that come along with managing the distribution of those applications, the ongoing management of them, and of course the security of their corporate data, which is ultimate.
Yeah, it really is. So, how does this happen? We're speaking right now with Brad Murdoch. He is the CMO over at Nucona, NUKONA.com is where you'll find them. We're talking about securing, deploying, and managing these mobile apps. So, Brad, how do corporations deal with this? What's the best way? I know you've got an infrastructure here to help because, again, corporations are finding that apps are an inexpensive way now to provide employee access to information, to provide all kinds of interfaces for employees that they've never had before.
Absolutely. So at Nucona, we believe that there are two primary tenets, Craig, that are going to be very important for organizations considering how they best support this new mobile enterprise. And those tenets are, number one, that it must be very, very easy and must be very intuitive for all of the different constituents that become part of the end-to-end process. So easy for app developers, easy for IT to manage and control, and most importantly, very easy for the users to consume. But number two, also that level of ease of use and cannot come at the expense of the underlying responsibility that the organizations have for the security of their corporate data. And so what we at Nucona are focused on is providing a capability to have a very, very easy to use end-to-end capability and a great user experience, but still giving IT the level of control that they require, frankly, and that they're used to having with the Windows and BlackBerry type of environments, but now being able to extend that out to basically any device, iPhones, Android phones, tablets, iPads, and whether those devices are either owned by the corporation themselves or by the individuals, because as you mentioned earlier, Craig, the whole trend of bring your device to work, it's being driven by consumer technology. The enterprise needs to be able to support when an employee goes off and buys the latest, greatest, iPad 3 or the Samsung Galaxy Tab that comes out or the latest phone, and they want to and need to be able to access their corporate data through these applications. And so at Nucona, we're focused on making that be very easy for corporates to do.
This is very reminiscent here of the days when PCs first started making their way into the business space, where you had the glass room that MIS was running at the time, of course, IT for corporations, and they had in their glass tower here, glass room, complete control. They started losing control as some of these functions moved to spreadsheets and other things on their PCs. Now I think that we've learned from that, and now IT is looking at it and saying, well, obviously we can't completely lose control here because there's significant value in our corporate data, in our infrastructure. We need to provide these apps. We need to be able to service, if you will, the Facebook generation that's out there that's used to using these tools and using them in specific ways. So this sort of stuff that you're doing at Nucona is really kind of leading the wave here and making sure we don't have a decade worth of problems like we did in the 80s.
Absolutely. And, the pace of change, as we talked about, is so rapid that the concept of being able to certify individual devices as being corporate ready is obsolete. The whole concept of device trust, that if you know that a particular device is under your control, that everything is safe, that really is gone by. I mean, even if it is a corporate-owned device, you just don't know that, maybe the employee's children picked it up last night and who knows what they were surfing on the internet. You can't really trust the device anymore, and so the whole concept of device trust is really gone. So you need to think about that next level of management, and for us, that's just like you were saying, Craig, earlier on, it's all about the apps. So how do you secure those apps and manage them and deploy them? And that's what we're doing.
All right. I appreciate you being with us today. We've been speaking with the CMO of a company called Nukona. Nukona.com is where you'll find them online. His name's Brad Murdoch. And we've been talking about the problem that businesses have, whether large multinational corporations all the way on down through little small mom and pops, frankly, which is how can you provide the type of apps and interfaces that the newer employees are all used to, as well as some of us older guys, and maintain the types of security and control that you absolutely need as a business. That's what Nukona does, and I appreciate you being with us today, Brad, to talk about it.
Absolute pleasure, Craig. Thanks for your time.
Nukona, again, is Nukona.com. You're listening to Tech Talk with Craig Peterson. We got a bit of an eclectic show today. These are kind of fun as we cover a number of different subjects. And I want to remind everyone to visit me in the online world as well at CraigPeterson.com. Stick around. We'll be right back with more right here. Hi, I'm the host of Tech Talk with Craig Peterson, heard weekly on Clear Channel Radio with this week's Tech Searchlight. Medical alert systems have come a long way. In fact, the best ones integrate both GPS and cellular technology to give you a help button that works anywhere in the USA.
Our product is Mobile Help, which is a fully integrated GPS two-way voice button that works inside the home, that integrates with a traditional box and a button, and works outside, basically giving like an OnStar experience for seniors outside of the home.
So that peace of mind that seniors have had for 30 years in the home is now extended beyond the home. MobileHelpSys.com provides GPS location, mobile two-way voice, and email event notices. This is Craig Peterson for WGIR. For more information about this company and other technology, visit CraigPeterson.com.
We take them all. If you have a question, call Craig at 1-888-599-2690. Missed a part of today's show? You can listen online anytime, even in your PJs. Visit techtalkwithcraigpeterson.com.